Hello everyone, welcome back to your computer class. This is your second class of function. Last day we have discussed about the elements of a function. Now in today's class we will learn multifunction programs. Let's get started. Now what is multifunction program? This is the program where in one class we will write multiple functions for different tasks. Functions are generally task specific. That's why the name is given function. Function must have one functionality. Now, if one function performs more than one task, so that function cannot be reused across the program. But if the function is task specific, we can reuse the code of the function in any other function from your program or from other program whenever we need to perform the same task. So instead of writing the code again and again, we can reuse the code of a function just by calling the function from other part of the program or from other program. In that case, the control will come to the function to execute the code written in that function to perform the task for what the function was written. So the main advantage of multifunction programming is reusability. It saves our time and effort to rewrite the code, and it also saves the resources where one code will be reused by multiple functions. So we are not writing the code multiple times, so it will consume less space in the memory. Unlike in string program, we don't write the functionality of the functions, those are already there in the string class. Length, character, substring, index of these functions definitions are already given. We just call the function whenever we need to use their functionality. So let me explain everything through an example. Remember this program we have done in class 9 using loop, special number program, which is also called Krishnamurthy number. So what is that? It's a number which is equal to the sum of the factorial of all its digits. One such number is 145. So here the number has 3 digits, 1, 4 and 5. So if we find out the sum of the factorial of all these 3 digits, we will get back this 145. 1's factorial plus 4's factorial plus 5's factorial. So 1's factorial is 1, 4's factorial is 24 and 5's factorial is 120. So 1 plus 24 for 25 plus 120 is 145. So this is the number. So now I will write that program. So I will make one program file. Any name I am giving, because this name will be changed when we will compile the program with the class name. Class, my class, special no. So I am taking one integer parameter to accept a number. Now, so at first I have to declare one temporary variable to store the value of no, because in digit loop when we will use the number, that number will become 0. So we will not get back the number to compare the sum of the factorial of its digits with the number. So that's why in t we are preserving the number. Now digit loop do. So here also I need one variable to store the digit. Now from the number how to take out digit? T modulus 10 and one more line to update the number t by equal to 10. Now while t not equal to 0. So this is our digit loop where we will get all the digits from last digit till first digits. So d will get the digit. Now after getting digits, what we will do? Here we will write the code to find out the factorial of d. So int f for factorial, which is the product variable, always need to be initialized by 1. Now make a for loop to get all the numbers starting from 1 to d or from 2 to d. A equal to 1, a less than equal to d, a plus plus. Here we have to write only one line, so I am not using bracket to enclose this single line statement. F equal to f star a. So here we are finding out the product of all the numbers from 1 to d. Now after this loop, the value of f is factorial of d, which you have to add to a sum variable. That means we need one sum variable to be declared here with 0 as its initial value. Then here sum plus equal to f, means we are calculating the sum of the factorial of all the digits. So here we are taking out the digit in d variable. Then in this loop we are finding out the factorial of d, and then we are adding that factorial to this sum variable. So this process will continue to find out the sum of the factorial of all its digits. Then after the loop we will check that sum is equal to no or not. So if they are same, we will write system.out.println no is a special number. Else no is not a special number. Close your function, close your class. Let me compile the program. No syntax error. Now we will check the program is correct or not. Here's my object. So I'm passing 145. Click on OK. See, it's a special number. Now I'm giving another number 123, which is not special. See, 123 is not a special number. So this is my single function program. Now if I separate this factorial part from this function and put it in another function which will only find out the factorial to return, so that function can be reused across the program, because the program where we need to find out the factorial, instead of writing that code, we can access that function. But if I keep this factorial part here in the special number function, this function cannot be used in other function where we need only the factorial of a number. Because the special number function not only calculating the factorial, it also checking whether a number is special number or not. So let me take out this part from this function. I'm making a separate function here. Public void fact for factorial. So it will also take one parameter whose factorial need to be calculated. But in this case, you have to make the function returnable, because after calculation, we will return the factorial value of number n. So I'm writing return f, which is the calculated factorial of n. And here the return type of the function will be the data type of f, because we are returning f. So this will be int. So here instead of d, it will be n, because this function will find out the factorial of n. Now from other function, when we will call this fact function, we have to pass one number for n. And this function will internally find out the factorial of that n, and at last that factorial value will be returned to that caller method. Now in this special number function, we don't have this factorial part. To calculate the factorial of d, we have to call this function. So let me add that. Here int f equal to fact d. Now this special number function is calling this fact function repeatedly inside this loop after taking out the digit, and when this fact function will return the factorial of that digit, that we are accepting here in f variable, which will be added to the sum variable. Now instead of storing the return value of this fact function to this f, we can directly call that fact function from here, because we are adding this f variable's value to the sum variable. So f is getting the return value of this fact function, that can be written here directly. That means when this line will execute, the function will be called first with d variable's value, and when this fact function will return the factorial of d, so that factorial will be added to this sum variable. So until unless this fact function returns a value, this sum cannot be calculated. So let me execute the program again. No syntax error. Same output we will get. But now when we will click on this object, we will get two functions, fact function and special number function, because in our class we have two functions. So which one to be called? Special number. So let me pass that number only 145, which we know it is a special number. So it is a special number. And if we call this fact function, I am passing here 5. So it will not display any output. So it will show the return value of this function, which is the factorial of 5. That will be 120. Let's see. So it is showing the 120 is the return value. Okay. Now in this program, if we need to calculate the sum of this series, here this is one number or value in the series. 2's factorial by 1 to the power 0. Then second number is 3's factorial by 2 to the power 1. And third number is 4's factorial by 3 to the power 2. So in that way, series will continue for n terms. And the last number will be n plus 1's factorial by n to the power n minus 1. So for that, let me add one more function here in this program. Public void series. We need one input, that is n for the term. So at first we have to declare one sum variable to calculate the sum of the series. So in this series, to get each number, we have to do division. And division may give real number. That's why the sum variable's data type will be double. Double sum equal to 0.0. Now make a for loop for the term t equal to 1, t less than equal to n, t plus plus. Now for each term we have to find out the value. Double V for value equal to, now how to calculate the value of the first term? So in first term the value will be term plus 1 means 1 plus 1 2, 2's factorial by term means 1 to the power 1 minus 1 0. So that only we have to write here, t plus 1. Now we have to find out the factorial of this t plus 1. So what to do? We will not write this factorial part here because we have this fact function to do the same. So I'm calling this function fact, and we are passing t plus 1. So t is 1, 1 plus 1 for 2. So we are passing 2 to this function fact to find out the factorial of 2 first time. Then by math.pow term to the power term minus 1. So first time term is 1, 1 to the power 0. Same. Now this is one value of a series which you have to display and add to the sum variable. So system.out.print v plus a separator, and then we have to add this value v to the sum plus equal to v. Close this for loop, and after the for loop you have to print this sum value. System.out.println backslash n to come to the next line, and sum equal to plus s. Over. Now in this class I have three functions. First one is special number, second one is fact, and third one is series. The special number and series function, they are non-returnable function, so whereas this fact is a returnable function. So this is the function which is used in this special number and series function. Compile it, no syntax error. Now in my object we will get three functions: special number function, fact function, series function. So according to our need we will call the function. Now we will check series function, so I am selecting this. So it is asking the term value, I am giving here 5. So 5 numbers will be displayed in the series, and it will calculate the sum of the numbers also. See, this is first number, this is second number, this is third number, this is fourth number, and this one is fifth number, and this is the sum of this series. Now this like big number is coming, why? Because I have used double data type. If we convert it to float, we will get small number. Let me show that. I am making this float. So here I am writing f to convert this default data type of 0.0 to float. Now here also we have to change this data type, and for pow function also, because pow function always returns double value, so we have to convert it to float using typecasting float. Now let me compile this, no syntax error. See now this is little smaller than previous double type. So this is the first value, then second value, third value, fourth value, and fifth value of the series, and in the next line this is the sum of this series. Okay, so this is multifunction program. Now this fact function can be used from other class also, as this function is public function. So from any other program you can call this fact function, but for that first you have to create one object of this my class in that program. Like string class function, when we use in our program, first we create one object of the string class s, string s. Then using s we can call any function of string class, s.length, s.character. Like that, to call this fact function also we have to create one object of this my class in other program. Then very well you can call this fact function, but remember the function is parameterized function, so you have to pass one integer parameter for this fact function, and fact function will calculate the factorial of that integer, and that value will be returned to that function. Now in this program, when this special no function and this series function are calling this fact function, so they are caller function, and this fact function has been called from them, so this fact function is called function. Now from this special number function, when we are passing d to this fact function, then this d is actual parameter for fact function, and this int n is parameter declaration in this function prototype, so this is formal parameter. The same way in series function also, when we are calling this fact function by t plus 1, that is the actual parameter for the function, and this n is formal parameter. Understand? So this is very easy. I hope you understood how to write multifunctions in a class and how to access them. Now I am giving one multifunction program as your homework for your next class. So here is the question on your screen. Pause your video to copy the question and solve it. See you in our next class. Till then,